So, as they say in Roblox, when a game like in 2020 or 2019, whatever, in like the older years of Roblox, there were tons of amazing games that were released. Everyone liked, everyone hated, and everyone thought neutral of it. But as the years slowly pass by and by, those games start to die. They go, they dig their own grave, they fall into dirt pit. Oh, great. So, as they say in Roblox, they were many years ago when Roblox was released. When games get released for the first time, those games became great. They were popular. They were expanding. They were even all over YouTube. People played it. They enjoyed it. It was great. It had the fun and style and joy among players who played them. But as slowly the years go by, they slowly start to die and get not recognizable. They're just gonna get put in the grave, planted dirt on top, and then they're gonna get overtaken by the new fashionably ordered copycatted like games. But those copied games could quickly have some conflict or some exposition or some terrible broken mechanic to them. Even if the old games are still up on Roblox, well, not most of them, but they've not been deleted. They've just been updated multiple times, but still they're dead and old, and not most people play them this day. They're not relevant, but still, there is one game I enjoyed years ago that stood out for all the rest of my older games. Pick a side. My favorite. The game that allows you to use weapons and also sides of decisions that you want to choose if for relevance, but you have to fight for your side. You can't just admit it, it's true. You can destroy multiple of your opponents or even fight them using special weapons like Telemonster Sword, Blizzard Striker, Lightning Staff, Knights of the Splitter Skies, Lightning Staff, or even a Chief Justice Gravel to fight your opponents with. You can also begin experience points for players you kill or win, or games you win, and get money for leveling up. And after every single battle, no matter how you win or lose. And you can also create your own slot. God. You can also create your own sides for people to choose from, to think what they think. It was an enjoyable game. But as I started beginning to play it, I really wasn't good at it. The weapons I bought were not great, even though I thought they were going to expect to be good. The gameplay was terrible a bit, but as the years go by, also someone improved to that game, and yet I really don't play it much, but I only return for one thing, the 1 hour challenge on there. So, I was laying down in my bed thinking, what am I going to do? I have too much uploaded Happy Wars streams. What else could I do? This thing just popped into my mind out of the blue with other ideas that I didn't even know what to record. Just thinking this game would be amazing. So I would do a tier list on Roblox Pick a Side. Oh, wait, is this on? Oh, yes, this is on. This is on, is it? Is this on? Okay, this is on. Turn up the audio. This game I thought would be somewhat a casual / competitive game. Mostly played for casuals, though. Special rattles, unfortunately, I don't like them. Freaking custom size, not a fan of them. Still, the game is good. I don't know why, but I rage on the game and call out the creator multiple times for the terrible game that he made. Sir Ming, the creator. This game was originally made in February 20th of 2017. And as the updates got more and more upper, the game also had an extra item, an extra weapon added. before after or before 2020 though. That's what I kind of think. Oh my gosh. That's what I think. So there was usually like 80 weapons. There was originally 80 weapons in the game, ranging from cheap to expensive. Where did the cheap to expensive? And I can't even speak. I just want to get to the ranking system already. It's expensive, and I'm pretty sure and I'm also 100% certain that the new weapon they added was specifically made for a new special rattle that I hate the fucking most. And you'll regret it when you first play it. But that's only if you're a freaking casual. But you're not competitive like I am playing this game. Let's just get to the ranking system. Roblox pick a side weapon tier list. Such an old game that was once enjoyable and somewhat competitive. Now it's just in the grave and a dead game. Sad face. Still, though, this tier list to rank all the weapons from best to worst. And as you can see on the bottom screen, the weapons are not ordered. Tried ordering them, and it wasn't easy to do. But still, this is such a full tier list I need to make right now. This is all the work I put in. I can't, restart it now. It'll probably waste too much of my time. We're going to get started right now. Alrighty. So, I usually have the 6 tiers from S tier, the best, A tier, B tier, C tier, D tier, and then the worst of the worst, F tier. Let's start with the first beginner weapon that people get when first joining the game. At $0 at level 1, we have the basic old rolling pin. The rolling pin, obviously $0 free, created when the game came out, like the other 79. And I'm pretty sure it can't be as consistent though. The rolling pin is somewhat like a sword weapon, but it's not very powerful and somewhat a long delay weak weapon. Whenever you try using the rolling pin to fight enemies, it probably takes 10% of their health. It only takes 10 hits to defeat a person with this, or even an extra 5 hits for VIP people. Something I wonder. Alright, sorry about that. About the rolling pin. 10 hits off a normal person who doesn't have VIP, but it takes an extra 5, so that's 15 hits against a VIP with this rolling pin. Not consistent at all. Not a very great weapon to use. You're just forced to use that weapon unless you get enough money from games to scrap another one. So I'd say this rolling pin weapon is not a great option at all. You can only get ever lucky with the rolling pin if some other player is on low health and you have an opening to kill the player at low health with some decent, okay-ish $100 weapon. So this is not going to go in C, unfortunately. This could be a D tier, but not an F tier though, because it at least does damage. And the fact that it has a slower delay time, apart from regular swords. What do we have here next? Yep, it's not ordered. I'm just gonna have to go from this order. Cheapest to, okay. Now, next up, they have the lucky throwing axes. And for this one, $389 at a weird price. And it's not even. It's odd. Oddly numbered. A non-numbered priced weapon that does not compare to any other else priced weapon. It does compare to machete. Things cheaper. The lucky throwing axes. Where would I put this thing at? So lucky throwing axes are ranged, or surprisingly, when I first got them, they were not a melee weapon. They were a ranged weapon. And the ranged weapon kind of sucks. It's kind of garbage. It's not recommendable, but there is some secret to it though. So the lucky throwing axes, how this weapon works is different from a regular ranged weapon. Weird and ugly. So lucky throwing axes. So the lucky throwing axes are you throw behind your character. The character's positioning the axes, but they're thrown behind you. And you can also just zoom out your character in front, and then you can just control the direction on how far you tap away from your character standing behind the point you're tapping. And your axe will go that distance. Supposedly, it was probably made to be a running weapon, but it is not the greatest running weapon. I would get out of sticky situations, though. So the lucky throwing leprechaun axes, terrible weapon. Not great, not recommendable. You have to be a real idiot to spend on that and hope that gives you freaking free kills and money. And experience. You hope it does, but unfortunately it does not. So, but wait though. There's some secret to this weapon that if timed right and somehow hits a person from the distance, it can do tons of damage, but that's only a small chance if you have enough distance from your people when firing the weapon. So lucky throwing axes are probably going to go to D tier, but behind rolling pin. Lucky axe at least does damage, but it's not a very great ranged weapon to use for beginners. You have another cheap weapon to go off. It's the Galactic Laser Gun. The Galactic Laser Gun is $250 and seems to be somewhat of a decently ranged weapon. So Galactic Laser Gun is like a ranged weapon, but can fire. But it can't fire from any distance at all. It can only fire by a short distance, though. Somewhat a medium range, though. And the laser is kind of powerful, though. So it's kind of like a trade-off that the laser is powerful, but the range is also shortened to preserve its power. So Galactic Laser, $250, not bad of a weapon. You just only have to hope you get close and don't get hit, though. It's kind of a risky weapon, so I can't put it in B tier. The Galactic Laser Gun, also a beginner's weapon. It could go in C tier above rolling pin. It has some consistency in it. Going by cheap weapons. Is this thing still on? Yes. So the next weapon we have here is the Exploding Crossbow. The Exploding Crossbow is probably an interesting weapon of the bunch. Not beginner's weapon. It's like an intermediate weapon for $1K and quarter dollars. I remember using this years ago when I was like a lower level and not level 100. It did some damage. It did some pretty good things. It's even great to use as a running tool because of its one ability. Is that once you shoot a player, you can press the button again and the arrow on the player will explode doing some damage. And it's good. That's why it's good for people running after you. You shoot a player, but since all the players are also going to be in range with the exploding crossbow, you can press it again. It'll explode, or it can also deal damage to nearby players in that explosion. So exploding crossbow could be a great asset to use. And like a ranged weapon, it lacks any meleeness. So just make sure you're at distances away from people using this weapon. So you can shoot them down, explode them, and bam, get your kills, experience, and your freaking reign over the game. If you can. Where do I rank this? So it has an exploding effect that happens after you shoot the arrow at the person. After the arrow has been casted on the player. And then it explodes. So it's pretty interesting weight though. But you can also use, even if it misses, you can also use the arrows as traps to bait your players in. You can shoot at the ground, then run, anticipate that a player could be chasing you, or a player would target you for no reason, because I don't know why. But if the trap is timed right, it can deal damage to the player. It'll explode. Exploding crossbow, I wouldn't say it's A tier though. The arrows don't deal much damage. The explosions only do most of the damage. But it can't even match up with most of the 10k weapons. It has some consistency though. You just need some range, some shift lock aim, and it's good. I'd say this is B tier. Next weapon, saw. Saw. Just a plain saw. A weird looking 33.3k saw. And it's like a tricky to use weapon. And it's also just as a weird, it's just, yeah. You get what I'm saying, right? It's just a hard to control weapon, and you can barely get any damage out of it because it's hard to control. I remember trying this once. In one of my Twitch clips, everyone had the special route, same weapons, everyone used this. And I'm pretty sure the only way you can deal damage, you can't go behind, you can't go on the side, you have to go in front of them and then spin the weapon to actually deal damage. So I'm pretty sure that the saw is not a great intermediate weapon. It's terrible. And if you're trying to run and trying to combat another, if you're even trying to catch a freaking ranged person with exploding crossbow or gigantic or whatever, you might lose. And you will die immediately because the saw can only work in front of the person. And you can't even go behind them to even use it. But still at the same time, you just have to go forward and rush at it with it. But the ranged people have some dodging tricks. So I'm pretty sure the saw is not a consistent weapon. It deals damage only in front of people, but not consistent. It's not very consistent. So this thing, I could put below rolling pin and above, and you know what, just below both. Or at least above lucky throwing axes. Axes below rolling pin. Saw barely does any damage, regardless of where you even touch them. You can only deal damage if you're in front of them, and every time you attack them, there's this yellow snot blood splurting effect. I don't know what it is that comes out of them every time you attack them with it. So saw goes in D, up below rolling and above lucky throwing axes. Next one is the Viridian Samurai Sword, and it functions like a basic sword in almost like any sword game released on Roblox. So, none much to say about this thing here, because I'm pretty sure there's like multiple versions released of this. There's the regular katana, there's the Auto-Ride katana, and then there's Omega Rainbow katana. Oh wait, there's also some other swords that relate to this. There's 4-bit sword, etc., etc. So I'm pretty sure every sword I see like this is probably going to go in C. They deal the same damage. They play the same way. Get close to opponent. It deals decent damage. But it doesn't match. So I could probably put this up to C as somewhat good weapons that they do their job well. But they're not very powerful weapons. You can only expect... Wait, but still though. There's some other trick you can do with the sword, is that you can jump and then use the sword, you'll stay afloat in the air as a feint for players. So you can just strike them down as like a trap or whatever. There's like millions of ways to execute this for a veteran player at this game. Reading sword, I could probably say it could be B or C. It feels like it could be somewhat of a B tier. So I could put that below exploding crossbow. Who am I thinking though? Do I want to put this as high C or low B tier? I have no idea. I'll probably put this in B because of it's cheap, good to use, but it's not very powerful though.
All right, let's see what we have next here. Gosh, I'm trying to go cheapest. I'm going to save the freaking expensive ones for last. We have the katana of something. I forgot its name. I wanted to freaking like remember all the weapons names before I got into this tier list. I wasn't able to do it. I cannot remember all of them. So this is just katana of something. Katana of something. Katana of something. $2K cost. $2K cost, and it's also probably like a pretty good intermediate weapon to use. It's somewhat good. It's somewhat good. There's a special ability that can be used on it by pressing Q or pressing Y as a controller player on Xbox. Pressing Q for keyboard. The special ability gives you a lunge. Lunges forward or wait. I think that's just the basic attack, is it? I think it's just the basic attack. The basic button pressing, the normal attacking, pretty sure lunges you. So I'm pretty sure it's good use as a freaking evading weapon if you want to get away from people. The katana is a pretty good weapon. The damage seems great. It's okay. Good. I don't know. I've not tested this weapon yet. Feels good to see other people. I think a pretty good damage though. So this weapon has a dash effect, so you can get to range people faster and then kill them immediately. Could be a B tier. But you have to have a good dodging though. So this could go below exploding crossbow. And now what do we have here? All right, since I can't find any more cheaper weapons, what is this abomination of a thing doing in this game? Grappling hook. Remember what I said earlier into the video that one of these weapons were created especially for a special rattle. This is one of the weapons, the grappling hook, that serves no dang purpose to be even used as a goddamn weapon. Like, what the heck is this baloney? What is this? Why is this in the game? All right. So grappling hook functions the same as a ranged weapon, but it has a weird ranged attack to it. So first you fire the hook out of the grappling weapon, out of the grappling gun, and it goes the distance. It goes like a certain amount of distance based on how far you touched away on the screen. Sometimes it can be terrible on mobile because it doesn't expect you the way to go. You want it to go forward, but instead it'll go straight down to the ground to your legs, to your feet. And it's not great. It's also a 4K weapon. It's a waste, an expensive waste. Do not buy this if you're trying to get a good weapon. The grappling hook was made for lava rattles, where you can pull people and then they just get in the lava. But in the regular case, when you shoot people and then you like pull them, it deals damage. It deals continuous damage the longer they're pulled by the thing. So the longer time they're pulled back, the more damage it does. But you have to get lucky. I'm pretty sure it'd take around 2 shots to kill people, but you have to have incredible range, coverage, defense and stuff to even use it. And I'm pretty sure it can't be adaptable as an actual ranged weapon. So where would I rank this? Oh wait, I forgot to mention. Since it's a grappling hook, whatever person you grab will go straight directly through you. So it's not a great thing at all. It will not be a very great experience. It'll be absolute danger if you pull a powerfully melee weapon Blizzard Striker towards you, because you're going to get killed immediately. So grappling hook is hard to use, and you can only use it if you have the range. Because there's this thing about the weapon. Once you shoot someone and then pull back someone, it has a delay. So it can't be repeatedly fired. You have to wait, run, and then use it again. But that's only if VIP or if block skills. So this weapon can't be adaptable in any sort of way unless those things come into play. So I could probably put this in D or F. Doesn't deserve to go on any higher tiers. Where would I put this though? Higher than both the Saw and the Lucky Thing. Probably put this here. Here, you have to get lucky though. No, I'd probably put this higher. I'll probably go high, low C tier maybe because of the damage potential if you have a good opening, but it's hard to use. Low C tier. Low C tier. That's my decision. What else do we have here? Yep, too many expensive weapons up here. Dang. Save them at the end of the video. All right, next up, I'm going to probably go with... Oh, we have 5K weapons here. What do I want to go for first? Knock the easiest ones to comment out of the way because I played them before. Let's go with the Ghostfire Sword. That looks like a knife, though. It functions the same as a sword, but the Ghostfire knife has an insta-kill effect, just like... Oh, I don't know. There's like some other weapon in the game that also has an insta-kill effect. But I don't remember what else also has an insta-kill effect in this game, though. I do not remember what else in the game has an insta-kill effect because I've taken a break off it. Like, is Heartbreaker one or... I think Heartbreaker has like an insta-kill effect, though, on players who are on lower health. So Ghostfire Sword, or that once you tap, click, or press or whatever device you're playing with it, it lets you dash. So it's a good weapon to use for rushing toward opponents or running away from opponents to survive. It's a good weapon to use against players to run toward them or to run away from them to stall out the game. So it seems like a pretty decent weapon. It deals decent damage, has a kill effect on players who are on like 25% health or less than red or orange health. Oh, that gives you some more running time, but still you have to get lucky. And if you want to use it in a real cocky way, you can rush toward like a 1v8 situation, rush toward everyone, but you're also probably going to get hit. So I'm pretty sure that cocky way wasn't existent. Percent I never said that. Anywho, Ghostfire Sword seems like a pretty decent, useful weapon, damageful, running full. I say this could be probably potentially an A tier. This could be an A tier. It's like a pretty good melee combative weapon to run with, to damage with. Oh wait, but my experience is testing it that it's not that good. So I might have to put this down to B, but it's gonna be above splitting crossbow. Automite sword, the same with Viridian and normal katana, Omega Rainbow, and with any other sword and weapon in this game, they all go in C. They operate the same, they do the same thing. 4-bit sword, none special, like a katana, deals the same damage, same use. But there's an interesting thing about this weapon, though, is that when you kill someone, they literally just break into little blocks because it's an 8-bit sword, ironically. So whenever you kill someone with the sword, they fall into blocks of their Roblox skin color like Legos getting destroyed. So it's kind of a funny weapon. It feels like it could be a better weapon, though. Yeah, it feels flashy, so I could put this up to C. Laser gun is next. Laser gun's a ranged weapon, quarter of a K. Quarter of a 1K weapon. And I'm pretty sure not very useful or rigid in the case. Laser gun is a ranged weapon that shoots like three line cyan bullets or shots at your opponent, and they deal some pretty good damage. The problem is, though,
is that these things have a reload delay charge, and they're probably impossible to hit people with. As like a freaking long delay shot hitbox thing, mechanic. It's not very rigid though. So I'd probably say this would be in C tier. When you shoot people with it, it deals pretty good damage, but that's only if you have the correct range. So it really can't be used for anything. I think this could go at least above grappling hook. It's better, it's inconsistent, but it's going to go below galactic laser because it's not very consistent. All right, we have the golden bow and crossbow. There's a secret thing now that they added that the freaking game did not understand. That in the older years when this thing was released, this thing has a special ability to use pressing the Q button. A special ability that when you shoot, that your next shot will be charged. You'll hear the sound, you'll hear some random chime effect. Your next shot will turn a player gold for a few seconds, and you can get free shots off them. And the stun effect lasts for like a few seconds. In the older games, it's not as broken. But now in like the newer years, when this thing was bugged, when the player got released from the stun, it also literally freaking depletes their weapon from them, leaving them completely defenseless. So you could probably once you get shot by the golden arrow, you should probably reset because there's nothing you can do. Your weapon will not respawn. You can't regain your weapon. It'll just disappear from you. Because the golden shot not only stuns you, but it also takes away your weapon from you. And Serming has not freaking fixed that issue yet. I wonder what's just with him and his freaking floppy cock with this game. I wonder why. So golden bow and arrow seem broken, but it's not a very great ranged weapon because it's probably inconsistent. You can't see the shot go toward the player. You have to hope the shot comes at the player because it's an instant shot thing. So this thing could go above the swords and end up at high C tier or even below B tier, potentially, because of its consistency. And its broken ability that it has can also take down high-ranked, high-level players if timed right. All right, next one of my favorite weapons, it's the zombie crossbow, a 2K weapon. 1/5 of a 10K weapon. This weapon seems pretty great, has some poison and shots to adapt to, but I wouldn't say it's not a very great ranged weapon, though. Zombie crossbow is like an exploding crossbow, but with faster shots and insta shots, just like the golden bow and arrow. It also has a special ability using the Q button, that the next shot will be a poisonous shot, like a damage over time effect, like you see in our strategy or RPG games. The damage over time effect will like be known on the player's tag, on top of the player's name tag. When you shoot the poison shot at them, it will slow down their speed, reduce their speed for like a few seconds, and then there will be a green skull over crossbones laying on their head, indicating that the poison has taken effect on the player and will deal continuous damage, which seems pretty deadly and pretty good for ranged people who are trying to run from multiple people. It's a good running weapon to use. So the zombie crossbow, not very expensive, a good and easy to use weapon if you can get them shots in. It can even take out pro players if its potential rises up to its limit. The poison zombie crossbow could go up to B. Go up to be below golden bow and arrow. Seems like a pretty good weapon to use. You can spread the dots around. You can get some damage in. That seems like a pretty good weapon. Now we have the dual monster axes next up on my list here. The dual monster axes
axes seem like a pretty good weapon. Seem a pretty great-ish weapon. They deal high damage with 2 hits. They have a special ability I can press with Q, but I don't know what the special ability does. It probably makes them glow and it increases their damage. The dual monster axes seem like a pretty consistent melee weapon. You can't dash with it, but you can deal massive damage to players if the attack is timed correctly on the players. They could probably lose up to half their health with just 2 damn hits. Like, dang, that's crazy. So the 2 dual monster axes could go up to B tier, and it's like 3.5k. So it can be probably pretty expensive to acquire, but it can be a good weapon to have. So I could put this up to B tier, even above exploding crossbow, because it deals more damage, but then again, exploding crossbow is a ranged weapon and it has some consistency with it, but not much consistency. So I could put this up, but below Ghostfire Sword. Ghostfire Sword has an insta-kill ability, whereas this weapon does not. So I'm afraid it goes behind it, but it's a pretty consistent weapon, so it's ACP2. All right, next weapon, we have the Core Block Staff, and yet this is a very another wonky ranged weapon to use. The Core Block Staff is a 4K weapon that can only fire like five or 6 staffs in front of the player in the direction that they're facing or where they click on their screen. Right. The Core Block Staff, not much consistency as a freaking ranged weapon would. Difficult to use as a running weapon. Core Block Staff is not recommended, obviously. If it's used as a running weapon, then you have to get them timing right. But the problem is with this weapon, once you launch the attack, your character stops for a moment, launches them, and then gets to run again. So you have some small, vulnerable opening to you when you launch the weapon down. So I'm pretty sure that the Core Block Staff can't be used as an actual ranged weapon. It does not count. It has no consistency. It's probably a garbage weapon. And it'd be a waste, like the grappling hook. But it has some consistency, though. I can put this above grappling hook, but behind Laser Gun Galactic Laser. That's there. Next one, what do we have here? What can I use here? Where is it? The Red Claymore. The Red Claymore sword. That's like very tall as a human's P word. Has a pretty good melee range. It can even attack people that are like slightly range of you when you want to get the ranged people so darn bad. So Red Claymore has a special ability, and the special thing about this weapon that it sparkles up. That like sparkles because it's a red claymore time thing, like a Ferota. So the Red Claymore is a very interesting weapon to use against. There's very different weapons to adapt to, but it doesn't deal much damage. I'm pretty sure the special ability, the Q button, is to probably do some overlaid slash or whatever, but with some animation seeing in it. Some particle effects or whatever. So like ghost delaying frames. Looking words here. Wow. That appear out of the weapon, but they are not very consistent weapon. They deal damage, but it's great though. So I can probably put it in B tier, but in low B tier because it's not a very great weapon though. I wouldn't recommend it. I don't think it's a very great weapon though. I have not tested it yet. I'm pretty sure I used it in like a special round when I was playing off camera. It didn't seem to do great though. But I think it did it? It seemed to do great though, but loading's here. Alright, next one. What do we have here? So we have another 5K weapon. That's so many 5K weapons. Gosh. Hey, and then it's strange. Where are the rest of my freaking weapons at? Strange enough. I need to freaking check my weapon list. I thought there were more. There's not much weapons here. So next up here, I have the Sword of Epic Blueness. The Sword of Epic Blueness also has a counter release called the Sword of Epic Redness. They both have the same special ability but with different effects. For the Sword of Epic Blueness, a pretty average sword that can deal some damage and it's pretty good. A pretty good melee weapon to use, also having a ranged ability. The special ability fires 6 flame balls in flower direction. So 1 up, 1 down, 1 upright, 1 left, 1 upright, 1 bottom right, and 1 up left, and 1 bottom left. I don't know. And these flames operate differently from the Sword of Epic Redness. The Sword of Epic Blueness flames pushes people back, so it's good to use as a running weapon if they ever get too close to you. And it seems like a pretty good way to use this. It seems like a pretty good weapon, better than Red Claymore. Even better than the rest of these wage weapons, though. Now that I'm wondering. So, you know what? I'm probably just going to do this. I could probably just put this above almost every of this here, but put Katana probably just below here, because it feels like the Katana doesn't really have much use, so. Alright, we are on to the... No, we're not even on to the few last weapons, because the rest of the weapons ain't appearing up. I wonder what's going on with the freaking template, and I don't know why it doesn't give me my freaking other weapons. I'm pissed. Alright, I'm just going to have to end the... You know what? Hold on. I'll come back. I need to upload the rest of the weapons here, because for some reason I do not see them. Alrighty, I am back. I added the forgotten weapons up here, so now I can continue with my tier list ranking. So, wait, where did I put this? Why is this up here? Put this below here, probably, because it's not a very great weapon. Alright, next weapon we have here is the Blue Steel Claw. The Blue Steel Claw, it functions as a melee weapon, but it's not really easy to use. And it also somewhat had a glitch back in the earlier years when this game was released, when I played it on some other account other than Jet. So Blue Steel Claw, like a melee weapon, when you press, it slashes down on opponent, decent, okay damage, functions as a sword, but it's not a very great weapon. So I could probably, but there's somewhat of a small bit of delay on the weapon, so it makes it slightly worse than the sword. So I could probably put this below here, 125, not a good weapon though. Oh, I'm putting them all over the place, so it's my bad. Alright, next weapon, we have the Plunger Gun. The Plunger Gun shoots a plunger at your opponent's head and it just freaking flushes. Just kidding. Plunger Gun can land it on an opponent and it deals okay-ish damage. Plunger Gun has a slow delay. Has a long delay. Probably a very long delay. Literally a slightly long delay compared to most other weapons, and it's not a very consistent ranged weapon. But at the same time, at least it's at a trade-off. You can see where the plunger actually goes though, and where it shoots. So I could put this above Laser Gun, but it's gonna go below Galactic Laser. So plunger's in C tier. Oh, hopefully not become a C tier though. Why is this? Oh, why am I messing up my list again? Anywho, Omega Rainbow Takana looks cooler, more expensive than all the weapons, but it feels like a waste. But still, it's a pretty good damageable weapon as a trade-off for all the expensiveness. So, like every other katana, functions the same, goes up to C. Next weapon, we have the Ultraviolet Blaster. I'm pretty sure I tried this on Magenta's alt account. The thing is a very terrible ranged weapon. It's not great. It's somewhat great, but it's not a very useful weapon in much situations. Ultraviolet laser is a 1K cost weapon that deals high damage. Oh, wait, but it has some range. Okay, never mind. This has changed my mind. But still has some single shots and then a reload sound like and then you can shoot at your opponent and it has like a delay of like 3 seconds. So every 3 seconds is a shot and it deals pretty good damage, but then the opponent can read it easily by just either jumping or dodging. It seems like a pretty predictable weapon, high damage, but not very great though. You can only land the shots if you aim directly at them. But still, it's a very consistent weapon, so I could probably put this almost above everything. Other than laser gun, plunger gun, galactic laser, you can fire this from anywhere, and it has some pretty good power. Next one, oh no, not this freaking weapon. That is the literal wastiest of wastest, trashest of trashest, garbagest of garbages, crappiest of crappiest, shittiest of the shittiest, and most damned of the damned weapons to ever exist. I lift 2, more like I lift none. I lift none. The worst weapon to be added in this game. This thing here is supposed to be functioned as a ranged weapon, but unfortunately, it can only be used with the PC. The PC allows you to move freely, but it has a weird way to use this thing, though. There's a weird usage of this ranged weapon. When this weapon is used on either mobile or console, your character cannot move at all. Even if you use a stick or plug in a mouse, your character will not be able to move. You can't even turn the freaking camera either. Oh wait, you can't even turn the camera either. Oh, you can? I think you can turn the camera. You cannot move. The most important thing about this thing is about moving where you're positioned and where you're attacking the player from. This thing is garbage. This thing sucks. This thing sucks ass out of a fucking hairy gorilla or ape. This thing is fucking garbage. No one, I swear to God, God forbid anyone in this freaking game has ever bought this weapon before and actually used it to get a win. God forbid anyone using this weapon. And pick a side. Makes no sense why Serming would even add this. Hasn't even tested. How is this supposed to be a good-ass weapon? How? Obviously, the only way you can ever use this is that I thought this would be a melee weapon, but it's a ranged weapon. The only way you can ever get to use as a ranged weapon, you can't insta-throw it or anything like that, like the brilliant throwing knives. You can charge up your character throwing it by holding on the screen, by holding the tap button on your phone or whatever, holding the right trigger button, or holding click on the mouse. And then once your character's arms start spinning it fast enough, you can let go of the button or let go of your phone to release it. And the direction it goes is in front of your character, where your character's facing. So it's a very inconsistent weapon, barely anyone fucking uses, not a great weapon, waste of freaking money. This thing goes in F. Oh, crap. Oh, that was my bad. Oh, here we go again. I'm messing up my list. This thing is hands down just garbage. No one even thinks that weapon is good. That weapon is trash. Jesus Christ. Anywho, let's see what we have next here. I lift 2. The worst weapon to humankind. No one can even ever get a win with this weapon unless they're lucky. Alright, the next weapon we have here is somewhat of a decently ranged good weapon that does high damage and it can shoot from a far distance, like Ultraviolet Blaster. It's the gigantic crossbow. I remember this weapon being mentioned by one of my viewers that commented on catching a hacker video that this weapon can somewhat deal damage to hackers. hackers and stop them, but it doesn't work against teleporting, unpredictable movement hackers. It doesn't work against them. It can only use against speed hackers. But they can dodge and jump because they have all the speed in the world. But still, when this thing is used normally, it seems like a pretty good weapon to use. Gigantic crossbow is somewhat of a freaking underrated weapon. I've seen someone used it, they got millions of damage with the thing. Like, wow. Gigantic crossbow is not that bad. Has a delay time, but that's probably kind of short, and the damage is high. Gigantic crossbow like outranks zombie and golden, exploding all the freaking bows in there, even exploding crossbow with that bread and butter. So I could put this above almost everything, but leave it behind sort of blueness. All right, next weapon, deluxe coil gun. Deluxe coil gun seems like a pretty interesting, good-ish weapon to use, but it's not very consistent because it doesn't have a long range. Has like a medium to long range. So deluxe coil gun, the special thing about this weapon is that when you fire it at a player, it temporarily turns them to metal and then just soft locks them for a few seconds until they move again. So it's a pretty good weapon to use for your teammates to get millions of damage on the player, or use it to run away from the player and get in position for the next shot. The weapon can be somewhat good. So I'm pretty sure the deluxe coil gun is like a 3.5k weapon. That's great for intermediates. It gets to get stun lock hits and insane hits off of pros if they can do that against 10Ks. If you have to be potentially lucky to get the good hits off the players so they stun. Once they stun, they can't move, they can't press a button. They're just stuck there for a few seconds until they can move again. So deluxe coil gun has a way faster stun than golden bow, but it could probably go above exploding crossbow as well. But it doesn't match up to gigantic crossbow's power, though. Thing is a beast. All right, next weapon we have Mythic Sword of the Tides. Interesting thing about this weapon, when you attack it once, attack it twice, you can dash with the weapon. I tried buying this once. It seems pretty good. There's a special ability on this weapon. I forgot to mention gigantic crossbow has an ability that someone has like a freaking critical shot to your opponent that deals massive damage. You could even insta-kill them at like yellow bar health. So, Mythic Sword of Tides, when you attack it once, it slows down your character, but when you press the button again, it makes a running effect. The dash effect, which is good to get away from people trying to get you down when you're trying to survive. The Mythic Sword Tides also has a special ability, also great for running, like the Sword of Epic Blueness. Like the Sword of Epic Blueness pushes back people and deals damage to them. The Mythic Sword Tides have huge waves coming out from the sides of your player and protects the player, like in a flower thing. In a flower form. So the waves can do range damage to people, which is good as a running weapon. So I could put Mythic Sword of Tides above or below sort of. I could put this above gigantic crossbow because you get to range people faster, but sort of way. But still, it's a pretty good 5k weapon, but it probably might go below. Oh, wait, though. But then again, when I tested this weapon, it dealt massive damage in just 2 hits. So this could potentially be above Sword of Mythic Tides, even above Duel, even above this as well. Ghostfire has like a faster running trigger, but the Mythic Sword Tides has a ranged ability. That was somewhat lower defensive player options, but still, it's slower but more powerful. You want fast and powerful things? Then probably. Next, we have the Bathside, and probably I might say this could be somewhat of a disappointment weak weapon, unfortunately. Bathside is probably a wasteful 5k that used to be good back in earlier years, though. Whenever you press the Q button, there's an ability with this one when you press the Q key. It could probably insta-kill someone near you. But that's only if you're close to a person. If you use a weapon normally, it deals very low damage. It deals somewhat low damage, not a very consistent melee weapon. And there's also there's bats that follow you once you have the weapon in your hands for a slow time, and they have to deal damage, right? I don't know what the bats do. Bat sight is probably just terrible. When you attack it once, you can attack it twice. When you attack it 3 times, your character will spin, attacking players in a circle for crowd control, but not very great crowd control. I could probably put this, damn, I might put this below C tier because it's not a very great ranged weapon. I'm pretty sure they nerfed the thing so you can't really insta-kill someone with it. But it has a cool kill effect. When you kill someone, they just disintegrate into a red soul body. But still, I don't think it's great. But is he going to go above ultraviolet? No, I don't think it goes above there. That stays behind because it's not consistent. Next one, we have Knights of the Splintered Staff, another weapon from them. Knights of the Splintered Sky, dual axes. So there's a dual with an A and then dual with an E and then axes. That's what the weapon is called. Dual axes, unlike dual monster axes, they're more expensive. They're 5K. They deal very high damage, but for some reason there's a weird bug on this weapon. Is that when you kill someone with it, it'll register as the player you killed themselves, and that makes no darn sense. And when you look at the list of your name, it won't register your kills, which is kind of weird and sad. But it's a very high consistent damage weapon, like the monster axes. It also has a special key ability that you can throw your axes from your opponent, but you have to wait a few seconds just for them to respawn in your hand. So they're very high damage. They have a ranged ability to use against ranged players who can go, they'll dodge, but they won't be able to shoot. I don't know. You can run to them, your axes will respawn back in your hands, and you can crush them. So this thing seems better than dual axes. Does not have a dash effect, fortunately, though. It has a ranged effect, so I could probably put this behind Mythic. Mythic. Alright, let's see. What do we have next here? See here. The list is getting low again. I do not see the rest of my weapons. I don't understand why this is not even working. Come on, why do I not see the rest? Again, let me go edit the temple for the weapon. Alright, and I'm back again. Gosh, I just want to be done with this video already. It's wasting too much of my time right now. So I have another weapon here. I have the cheaper weapons now because the cheaper weapons are not up here for some reason every time I try to load new weapons. We have the fencing thing. It functions just like a regular sword and like the katanas. Oh, so bad. But the thing is probably I don't even know what you even say about this thing. The fence is like a pretty good offensive weapon, though, I'll say. Seems pretty great. It's kind of good. High somewhat of a consistency. So this fencing, it deals medium damage, has a medium delay, but it's not as very powerful as the katanas or any of these weapons here. But it's at least above blue steel claw. 125 is like a pretty. So this weapon could be pretty good for beginners. Next one, we have the ninja whip, or I like to call it the whooping weapon. I used to call this the whooping weapon when I was younger playing this game. It's a whooping weapon because it's a ninja whip. When you hit someone, it makes a weird, some whipping effect. The freaking whooping weapon. Seems funny. But jokes aside, this weapon really does not have, probably has like a medium damaged attack and a slight lower delay, but not as close though. So I could probably put this above Ninja Fencing. $300 weapon, but it doesn't go above them. All right, and we have a $1K and $250 weapon. You have the Dark Age bow. Dark Age bow. It's like a regular bow, just like the crossbows and golden bow. Unlike the golden bow, it has some insta shots, so you have to time them right to shoot the people. And this thing also has a special ability when pressing the Q button. When pressing the Q button of this thing, you can also hear a chiming effect off this weapon. Purple sparkles or black sparkles will emerge from the weapon. The next shot will deal high damage. It's like a basic bow, but without an insta-kill ability or anything like that. It just has a high damaging special effect. This weapon's probably lame. I don't think it's great. That goes almost below this. But still a B tier. Or even a C tier, I don't know. I think this is B. No B. Alright, we have another Dark Age weapon. There's like 3 of them in this game. The nunchuck, the bow and arrow, and the spear. The Dark Age spear seems like somewhat of a consistent. No, I don't think it's consistent. I'm pretty sure I tested it with light blue. It seemed to deal pretty good-ish damage, but it's pretty low though. It also has somewhat of a longer range, so it has some melee advantage, a 1v1 melee advantage. It could also trip opponents. The bow can't do much, but you should use something else. So the Dark Age Nagata, or I don't know. Dark Age Nagata, Dark Age Spear, though. Could probably just go above all this, even though Ultraviolet Blaster. But it'd probably just be below Dark Age Bow. And this, no purpose either. No purpose either. Twin rod thing, COD swords have no purpose. When the weapon is used normally, it's just going to do some weave. There's a special ability that allows you to use 2 blades at once, but they barely deal any damage, even if you touch the tip of your opponent. So it's hard to use. This thing also goes in fucking F tier because of how useless it is and how expensive it even is. But it goes below I Lift 2. I Lift 2 has some damage, but Twin COD does not. Even if you use a controller to control, you even use a PC to use the weapon, it won't deal any damage. Because I'm pretty sure the weapon's bugged. Alright, we have a busted weapon here. That's not 5K, but it's a 4K weapon. 2/5 of a 10K weapon. And probably like a broken intermediate or pro sword. It's the Sword of the Seas. Special thing about this is, it's not a special ability. If you don't know what the special ability is about the weapon, it functions like a normal sword. Not really. It has some just slashy movements to it. The special ability is you can launch a wave, like a projectile at the opponent, and it does damage. But the thing about this, its damage is ridiculously high. The thing is just 2 to 1 overpowered. The last time I fought against this thing dealt like fucking what? It took like freaking up to like fucking 3/4 of my health in like fucking 8 seconds. 3/4 of my health in like fucking 5 seconds. Because that thing is too overpowered. So this thing could almost go above everything. And it even goes above Ghostfire Sword because of its damage. And it's a projectile. It's almost up to A. Alright. What do we have next here? Oh, strange enough, there's 2 Wind Forces here. Because I thought I didn't upload one. So this is one of the annoying weapons in the game. I like to call annoying. Most players probably found this frustrating, including myself. The Wind Force is like a regular sword, but it's coated in a clear color. The special ability about this weapon is that when you hit someone, you knock them back a very freaking long distance away from you, which is useful for running situations. The problem about it, though, is that when it's used against ranged opponents, that gives them an opening to shoot at you. But if you get closer to them, it just depends. So getting closer to them while they are running away, that's probably going to push them back and give them more opening. But you have to be faster, though. That's the problem. So Wind Force, good against other melee people, but this thing, not great against ranged people. Not good against ranged people, because ranged open people can give them an opening to attack. And even worse about the wind force weapon, even when you try to shift, lock, run, when you knock a low health person back, it'll give them an opening to run away from you and try to stall the battle out if there's low time. So this thing is a do or die weapon, depending on the situation. Wind force is somewhat broken. It can knock people back. And also, this thing also has a bug, an exploitful glitch that will instantly kill players when they're blown to the air. And if you guys don't know that there's some weird bug, if you go on top of the ceiling of the roof, you will instantly die. To probably prevent cheaters from going that far. Though, I think that's what it looks like. To prevent cheaters from the action. So, wind force is a busted weapon, and it annoys the frick out of people, and also me, but it's also a weakness opening weapon. I don't know where am I even going to put this, though. Where I put this? If the wind, but then again, though, it's insane. If someone gets hit by the thing twice and goes flying into the air to the point where the air hits, then the weapon is broken. Okay, the weapon has to be used correctly in order for it to be good. If you can double click on the attack component and not click it once, you'll do some massive damage that will even be better than Sword of Seas. So this thing could go above Sword of Seas, or this even could potentially go to A tier. This probably thing could go to A tier because of its consistency and power and its brokenness. Even the people are going to try and run away. The wind force is going to get closer to them. Most wind force users in this game are absolutely cracked and sweaty. I'm sorry if I'm calling you out, but I'm sorry. Alright, this is coming from a pro. Damn it. Alright, next weapon. This is one of my favorite weapons in the game. It's a very good and range consistent weapon to use, but you also have to be at a safe distance without getting in range of melee people. It's the Knights of the Splintered Skies Lightning Staff. So this thing, amazingly overpowered ranged weapon. You can shoot up to 5 lightning balls at a time. And it deals millions of damage. But if there's any players nearby, it will also do some multiple hits on them. And there's also a best thing about this weapon. This thing has some broken range and broken power. Like, even when a person is at this distance and you miss, the lightning ball will still hit it because it's lightning. Because the freaking cube long things are like lightning that'll still attack a player even if it is like a centimeter away from touching it. So this thing is good. I also use this weapon. I use this weapon all the time when I'm playing this game beginner. Just against weaker opponents to fight them. But if there's a pro player, I try my best to stay my distance, and it deals massive damage. It's even great. I even probably once defeated a Tull Monster Sword Chaos Edge using this weapon. This weapon's a very great ranged weapon. Problem is, you have to have a range and power to do that. There's like millions of other weapons that can counter weapon, but not all weapons can counter it. If you have the shift block running glitch thing, or you have the IP to escape. So this could probably be an S tier. This is probably like a great weapon. A very great weapon. A very great ranged weapon to use as a master of this game like I am. So you have to try it out. See it for yourself. Ooh. Do I want to put it up at S tier though? What? My tier list, my freaking rules. I might put this thing up there. That thing is awesome. Awesome. So I could put this up to S. It's very consistent. All right. Oh, there's another one of these. Oh, there's just copies of these things. Where am I supposed to put these now? Now I have them too much over the place. Darn it. Oh, darn it. Double darn it. I'm messing up my tier list again. Here we go. There we go. Anywho, oh, we have too many copies of these weapons. Fence and sword, ninja whip, I thought I accidentally copied them twice. So I have to use a different weapon here. So let's just go over to a 5K weapon. Let's go over to the golden sword. I love this weapon not because of its performance. I just like it because it looks cool. It looks perfect for my yellowed top hat character that kind of also looked like a French fry with amazing cloud glasses. So the golden sword has some passive abilities to it. There's a passive ability is that when you kill someone with the weapon, the sword will have flames around its blade, dealing damage and then dealing more damage. Oh, what am I? I can't even complete my sentence. Whenever you kill someone with this weapon, there will be flames added onto the blade for like few seconds and will deal more damage that way. This thing also has a special ability when you use the Q button to bring up values of flowers as defense. That any players that walk into the sprouted flowers, but it's also a freaking very vulnerable move. But you'll be okay. But I don't even know because I'm pretty sure the player will deal even faster damage before the flowers even kill the player. So you have to be in a so this weapon can't be the best. It has a balance to it. So it's not a very great 5K weapon, but still it has some decentness into it. So the golden sword, your character is unmovable for like up to 5 seconds while the flowers sprout from below and make a defensive field that if it like a poison swap that if anyone walks in the flowers they will get damaged. So it's good to use as a defensive weapon option, but not against range players. You have to even be close to them. You have to be careful when using this weapon against range players. If you accidentally press the Q button, and you will leave yourself open, and you will literally get yourself killed by millions of shots in your vulnerable spot. So this weapon can't be put up to A tier, unfortunately. This thing could be put to B tier, but it could be somewhat put over to here. You can also somewhat damage someone with the weapon while sprouting out the field if you're facing the right direction. So this thing could go above this. Its damage is great, but with the flames, its damage is buffed. So I could put this below Ghostfire Sword and Sword of Seas. It seems like a B tier weapon for me. Next weapon. Hold on, is there more? Oh, there's just too many copies. Gosh darn it. God, there's too many of these. I don't want to reset it. Where am I going to put... Darn. Where am I going to put these extra copies at, though? Can I just freaking rotate my phone and make it different? Okay, let me just rotate my phone for a second. Is this recording? Please. Okay. So let me just switch it up. Oh, there we go. But not all the options are there now. Oh, come on. Why do I see too many copies of these things? If everyone else is making this tier list, then... If you see a duplicate, then do not use it. Just leave it there. Pretend it's not there. Because I accidentally copied it when I try to make it. So I'm just going to get these out of the way so I can get to the real ones. So I can upload the real ones so I don't have to accidentally upload copies. Alright, we have 3K weapons to go to. Which one do we do first? Probably the Sword of Swords. I was most hyped about getting this once back in like 2020. When I first got this weapon... It felt like I was so powerful. But then it was a disappointment of a weapon probably because it can't really do high-ish damage. So the Sword of Swords is definitely somewhat of King of Swords, but it's not really the Swords of Swords quotation mark you see like you think it is. So this thing has two. So when you use it normally, character can like freaking do a little slice, another slice, and then just a downward slash. When you're trying to hit someone with it, it deals like only 20 of their health, or like a medium of their health, and it's not very good. That's melee abilities. But it has 2 extra special abilities that make up for it. And both are used interchangeably like a pattern. So the first one, your character spins, and the swords will be released from this weapon as a ranged projectile. Swords in like a freaking 8-sun pattern go flying everywhere, dealing range damage to players. And then there's a second special ability after the first one has been used as like a quake attack. Your character jumps and then like dunks down, and then there will be a huge circle of a donut shape of swords surrounding your character and anyone near it. And deals medium damage. Great abilities and all, but the damage is low. Oh, great. Why would he even nerf the weapon? It's not a very good. Like, the weapon's only bad now because of the freaking damage nerfs on it and low damage it can't do. So the Sword of Swords could go also to B tier where the Golden Sword is, but it could be somewhat higher than Mythic. But again, it's not a great running weapon, so I can't put it above that. It can't go above Knight's Axes. It can't go above Dual Black. It feels like this thing's going to be put at the end. All right. We're putting you behind everyone. You get to the back of the bus. Sword of Swords. Fake-ass sword. Fraudulent sword. Gosh darn it. 10K weapon. It's probably a waste. Please don't buy it. We only know how to use it correctly. All right, 2 very great weapons in this game. 2 insane weapons. All right, we have the Jesus Gravel and the Blizzard Striker. I'm going to get started with the Blizzard Striker. That you have to stop. That you freeze people, but I slice them with fire. But at the same time, the Blizzard Speed can make your speed super fudging low, like to me in the freaking Pick a Side Range compilation. The Blizzard Striker seems like a great, a very great, like a goated melee weapon for 10K. It's a goated weapon. It's worth their money. When you attack someone, there's going to be like, their screen's going to turn blue, and then snowflakes are going to appear on the side of their screen, and their speed will be reduced permanently for like the rest of the round. It's like the same thing with the zombie stopping axe, is that once you hit someone with an axe, it'll slow down their speed and blind their screen. So, but the Blizzard Striker has something. So when you attack someone with it, it slows down their speed, but there's also a potential chance it'll turn them into a solid frozen cube, not a popsicle stick. That was my bad. I try to freaking dream of ever getting this weapon turn people to solid popsicle stick. It turns people to ice cubes when you hit them. Yeah, I think it has a special ability to do that, the Q button. So Blizzard Striker, it's like a very great melee weapon, I used this once when I tried to catch a third hacker. There was like millions of people chasing me. When I used this thing to slow people down, I was able to get some running ground and my health recovered. So this thing could go up to S tier, but it's also going to go above Lightning Splintered Staff. Both are just going to be an insane 1v1 battle, though. Literally. Blizzard Striker is like the definition of literally just one hit ending it all. Because once the ranged person has been hit with the sword, they're instantly going to die. There's no way for them to come back. Once they're hit, it's over for them. So once you land a hit with a Blizzard Striker on a ranged person, you will instantly be able to kill them regardless of what health they are. Because they won't be able to counterattack. So this thing could go above Knight's Staff, though. Oh, because even if I get hit with it, there's no way I can escape, and will reduce my VIP speed. And it'll make me probably go slower again. So this thing goes to S. Dang. All right, then we have another one here. Then we have the next one. the next 10K weapon, the Chiefs just grab a very interesting weapon here. That has two abilities. A passive ability is that when you press it once, it'll only just do just a small hammer. Like, dude, seriously? But when you press the button again, when you press the basic attacking button again, your character will jump in the air and then slam down on the character, dealing like half their health. So it probably takes like around 2 to 3 hits. Oh, sorry. Alright, as I was saying, it basically, with the jumping ability on that broken weapon, it takes like up to 2 to 3 hits to instantly kill a person, even with the VIP. The weapon seems broken and insanely great. So, and the Chief of Scrabble also has like a special ability, but who needs a special ability when you can just jump down and slam and then just kill him with 2 damn hits? Who needs that when you have this? The special ability is going to be freaking stupid, but it's also going to be, it doesn't require your character jumping. Your character spins with the hammer. Anyone in the range of, your character will spin with the hammer. Anyone in the range of the spinning hammer will take continuous damage, just like the poison crossbow, like a zombie crossbow, but the damage is higher and somewhat faster to execute. So the Chief of Scrabble, ooh, now this is a difficult choice. Both are at S tier, but which one is better? The Blizzard Striker or the Chief of Scrabble? With the Blizzard Striker, oh god, why do I keep doing this? With the Blizzard Striker though, you hit someone, and against ranged people, you will instantly kill them. Oh, Chiefs just Gravel can take only just up to 2 hits to instantly kill a person. But now I want to simulate this battle. With the Blizzard Striker, I'm not even going to use AI freaking ChatGPT for this. I'm just going to decide based on my veteran play. So to simulate this battle, oh great, my phone's about to die. To simulate this battle, Blizzard Striker goes and hits the Chiefs of Scrabble. Obviously, the Chiefs of Scrabble player can't move very fast because once it's been slowed down, but it can jump. The Chiefs of Scrabble can just jump to escape out of it. But which one is faster, though? Which one is faster to use, though? Chiefs of Scrabble, you can jump and dodge even player shots without taking damage. It's harder and it's easier to do than the Blizzard Striker. The Chiefs of Scrabble will be just jumping out of the ice, but then slack down on the opponent. But with Blizzard Striker, you have all the time in the world to even attack the Chiefs of Scrabble frozen person. You have to get behind them so the Gravel person cannot turn around quick enough to fight. You can freeze them up to a solid ice cube. Ooh, I might have to say that Blizzard Striker is better than Chiefs of Scrabble. I might put Night Staff above Chiefs of Scrabble. Unfortunately, Chiefs of Scrabble might be a low S tier. It's very consistent, but against ranged weapons, I'm pretty sure I tried dodging against this once with some other, trying with a ranged character, got lucky, but I only can do it at a short distance. Even if you try some freaking clutchy tactic, you might still get hit. So I might have to put this above Night Staff. But close. But that's going to go be after Blizzard Striker. Alright. I have all the copies of these weapons, but they're all on my tier list. I'm also going to have to bring the charger to my phone just to end out this video because I have a few more weapons to do. I'll be right back. Alrighty, I'm back. And I keep screwing up my tier list. Why does this keep happening? Alright. I'm back, and for some reason, I have copies of these I cannot delete. This is so fun. So much fun. God damn. Alright, I have the steampunk. We have a few of these weapons here I'm going to go over because I don't know why they keep making me upload a few at a time. Alright. Next, we have the Cavalry Saber. $200. Operates like a basic sword, but can only do just slashes, normal slashes. It's not as great as a regular sword, and it's probably weak. So I probably put this in C tier. E tier below almost everything, but at least above because it at least has has damage and consistency with damage dealing like a regular sword. And it goes below blue steel claw. Sorry. All right, next up we have the bladed hilt. I tried testing this thing on green once for a quarter K. This thing was trash. You can't even like do a regular sword attack on it. You can only attack it, deal damage with it once, and then delay damage, delay damage, delay damage, delay damage. This thing sucks. This thing is not even a great freaking weapon to even use. Even has less consistency than a freaking core blocks or even that. This thing could probably just almost go to what? Fucking low C tier. But then again, it's damage dealing, so I can't fucking insult the frick out of it. Can't do that. Next up we have here is Sheriff Pistols. That seems like a pretty good weapon, but it's also hard to use because you can't see where the bullets are going. The bullets are like small stone balls that go out of the gun. This thing also has a special ability. Interesting. Rare to see on a freaking weapon that's not even 1K or above. $500 weapon has a special ability that can be used with the Q button, and it allows you to use 2 pistols at once, so you deal double the damage. It seems to be a ranged weapon, but it doesn't deal much damage. It has a fast shooting speed. You can't even tell where the shots are going. I'm pretty sure the shots are dealing probably low damage. Probably not going to kill opponents fast enough when the time they get to you. So I'm pretty sure it's probably a terrible ranged weapon, so I could probably put this almost below everything. Unfortunately, I don't think this thing is very great. So I could probably put this below C and almost with the D. All right, next up we have one of the most broken newcomer weapons in the game, the zombie stopping axe, which is insane. The zombie stopping axe has an ability that when you attack someone with it, it causes them to slow down and their screen to blind. And their screen to blind up. They can't see anything, but they can see some just blurs of players killing them, unfortunately, and there's nothing they can do about it. Once they've been hit, and if there are multiple players to target it, if you're even trying to do a cheesy tactic, but some little mother fricker wants to use a zombie stopping axe or at all, then it's instantly game over. The zombie stopping axe seems a bit overpowered. And it can probably compete with most of the freaking 10K weapons if used correctly. But it can't compete with everything, though. So I could probably put this like most things. You just can't get them close to you. The only thing is you can only land some thirsty hits with it if you can get close to your opponent. You have to get close in time in order for that to happen. That seems broken. So I'm going to put this above I could probably put this in B tier, but probably above most of these weapons and below the crossbow. It's like a B tier weapon. It's even broken. It's even more broken than that. God. All right. And then we have steampunk. Next we have steampunk gun. 2K seems and this probably is a weird ranged weapon. Because when you tap it, it doesn't shoot projectiles. It just shoots steam because it's a steampunk gun. Get it? Steampunk gun. Or steampunk shooter. I don't know what the thing is called because with the dots. The steampunk gun seems like a wasteful 2K weapon, and you want to know why? Is when you shoot, you only shoot a thing. Because there's some secret feature on this weapon, is that if you hold the button, it'll continuously shoot ashes and smoke and can deal damage to your opponent, but you have to be up close for it to do it. It seems like it functions like the same like the saw. You can at least damage it on any part of the body except in the front. Anywhere around the player except in the front.
So steampunk gun seems kind of broken, but not very broken. Because you have to freaking go up close to your opponent. So it's like the same as a melee weapon. I could probably put this almost above everything. Or maybe not, I don't know. So I could put this above 8-bit sword, but below that. Alright, more weapons. I'm gonna go get more weapons. I have more weapons again. Starting from cheapest to most expensive. We have the Crimson Sword. One of them also a broken beginner weapon. Broken beginner weapon. The great thing about this weapon is that it gives you a speed. The only thing about this weapon that gives you a speed boost and has a cool kill effect that it also that the player that got killed by it dissolves in a red phantom soul. And the thing is, whenever I use the weapon, I'm the 0.000% of 0.1% of people can't use the fucking weapon properly. When other people use the weapon, they deal fucking like up to massive damage, eating quarters of people's damn health and killing them instantly. In fucking seconds. This thing seems broken. A broken regular sword. And it's not even... It could even outrival this. And this even. And... My God, and even this. Because this thing just seems insane over everything. Alright, let's just get going. Oh, goodness. Next, paintball gun. It's a ranged weapon, and it's probably like a balanced overall good ranged weapon to use. When you shoot people, and the special thing about this weapon is that when you shoot people with it, it causes to blind their screen with paint. Just freaking images of paint. With paint, and it will not let them see. But over time, the freaking paint on the screen, on the player screen who's affected by it, will disappear, and it will allow them to see it again. But fortunately, the weapon makes sound, so you really can't cheese it. Because even if you still try and shoot the player with it, if the other player will try to kill the ranged person by following the sound of where it's coming from with audio on their device. So paintball seems like a busted weapon. Not very busted. I keep saying every weapon is busted, but most of them are fucking B or C tier. Funny enough. So I'm gonna put this up to B tier. You can blind opponents with it. It's pretty great. Have some short delay ammo with it. Ooh, this can almost go above everything, but it's probably gonna stay behind here. Almost here now. All right. Then we have the dark steel sword, and the thing I heard, and then there's something about this sword that's probably special. And then there's the special ability on the sword with the Q ability. When the sword is used normally, it deals some pretty consistent medium damage. It also has a freaking like windmill, like a Riptide Minecraft effect with the trident. The special ability is like a Minecraft Riptide enchantment on the thing. It allows your character to like dash forward and damage anyone in the way. It's also a great way to run and also deal damage, but it has a delay time though. So I really can't say it's great. It's just good. 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 Could put this above B tier. Slightly better than the katana. Then the claymore, but not better than zombie. Alright, then the colossal blade, and there's some and this weapon's also a wonky weapon, because this weapon looked like it could be a melee weapon, but it's a ranged weapon actually. Like a freaking Final Fantasy Cloud Strikes weapon. The colossal blade, there's something cool about this weapon, because when people equip this weapon, their character will have yellow spiked hair growing out of their character as a hair accessory. Then when you use the sword, it'll shoot out flame waves. It shoots out flame balls at a distance anywhere you click on the screen, and it seems okay-ish. but not very okayish for a melee weapon that looks like a range ability that looks not. It's just it's a freaking melee weapon with a ranged ability and only ranged abilities. There's nothing else, just ranged abilities only. That's very strange. I could put this above. This weapon isn't very great at its job because you can only press the button once. You can't press it multiple times because then the freaking flame will just be randomly going somewhere else. So I could probably say this is below this. Could be close to D. Alright. Next one. Let's wait. We have the Venom Shank. Or Venom Shark. I think it's called Venom Shank. It's an interesting and a pretty terrifying weapon that has damage over time effect, just like a zombie crossbow, but with a melee weapon. When you attack someone with it, it'll cause the player's skin color to grow like a light green, and then they'll start taking damage from the weapon. You can attack the player multiple times, and the freaking damage over time effect will last longer. It's pretty good for crowd control and as a running away tool. So I'd say the Venom Shank is a pretty good weapon to get. Unlike Wind Force, it looks like a regular sword but colored in green. Where could I put this at? I could put the Venom Shank sword somewhat at B tier, but just below Swords of Swords though. The Venom Shank and the sword could probably even have some faster damage than the Ghostfire sword though, which is insane. Next one. Oh, we have two interesting weapons here. Before I get into that, it's the Heartbreaker. The Heartbreaker is just a weirdly controlly developed and tricky to use sword. I'm pretty sure the sword has a special ability that like glows red hearts out of it or something. It also has an insta-kill effect like the Ghostfire sword. When a player gets to like low health to exceeding a red, orange bar or yellow, they'll start to float up in the air with flames around them, and then within seconds they'll die. Oh. Alright, but the Heartbreaker, it's not a very great melee ranged weapon because it barely does any damage as a melee. Because it's hard to use because it looks like it's freaking, this way the sword is used is like it's freaking thrusting a spear. And this is a sword, not a spear. Strangely. So I can't put it above like most stuff. I can at least put it above most of these things here. Not a very great weapon, fortunately. It's a waste. Also has a delay. That also makes this weapon worse. Darn. Alright, then we have another cool looking 10k weapon. Poseidon's Quake Staff. Poseidon's Quake Staff, as a normal using weapon, deals medium damage, not very much, who cares. But the special thing about its special ability, it can break characters' cameras. That's the insane thing about it. So when you use the special ability, when the special ability is used on mobile players, they'll take damage and they'll get pushed back. But if it's used against teammates, it won't do any damage against them, but it'll also push them back. It'll also cause mobile players for their cameras to break. They won't be able to freaking scroll or move anything. That's probably why it's a 10k weapon, because it can break mobile players' cameras. It makes them unable to swipe or move and look around. They can only swipe up and down and swipe left and right to zoom in and zoom out. It literally inverts their camera controls. The Poseidon Staff also has a cool cheese and trick to do when it's the near end of the match. If you use the special ability at the last second, the special ability has like some cyclone, some just exploding cyclone spin of the Poseidon Staff that pushes people back and damages anyone that's caught.
that's near it. It has a weird glitch that allows you to stay in the battlefield even after it ended, and it will not teleport you. You can dance on the players. You can just friggin' do any of them. You can call them pawns. It's a pretty good ability. But then I used this once. It didn't do much because I'm not able to consistently to beat range players. Because even if it pushes players back, it will give ranged players an opening to attack. So be careful with that. So I would say that this thing's an A. A, but it's below Wind Force. What do we have next? All right, I'm going to reload my list. So give me a second. For the 5th time, I am back. More weapons to go through. Starting with the cheapest, we have the double blade scythe. Double blade scythe seems like a decently underrated weapon. When you attack someone with it, it'll trip them. It trips them down. And like with the Ninjana, it has a kill effect. I haven't mentioned it before. When you kill someone with the scythe or the spear, then you will be then they will freaking just disintegrate into black little pieces when you kill them. Insane. Insane. This weapon seems pretty decent, and it also shows how much damage it does, flashing red numbers on the damage in player. It deals like up to 10, 11, 12, and it takes like around a few hits to kill him instantly. Weapon seems broken. It could even catch ranged players off guard if used correctly. It could even stop players from attacking, counterattacking. But it can't match freaking zombie axes. And yep, it suffers the same thing with the zombie axe getting close to ranged opponents fast enough. But in the case of a freaking multiplayer battle, you can just unexpectedly target them. You'll kill them instantly. So I can just put this up to B tier above everything, but still behind zombie. Dang. All right. Next one, we have the piano. This thing's recording. Mic on. The piano. The piano is also a weird ranged weapon. That's like the freaking 4th one or 5th one I've even ever announced. The piano is a very weird weapon. A very weird ranged weapon. Melee / ranged. The thing about this weapon, when you tap in front of you, the piano falls in the direction you're facing or the direction you tapped it in. When the piano that falls down on the player will get them to stun down and deal damage to them. Piano is kind of like a rigid and not a very great ranged weapon to use. It's probably even worse than Sheriff. Piano's not a very great ranged weapon, unfortunately.
You almost stuck the dog poop.
Oh, okay. The piano is a very weird ranged weapon. Please do not waste your weapon on this thing. Please don't waste your money on this weapon, please, because this weapon's ugly, and this weapon's just what the hell? Why did fucking Serming even thought this would be good in this game? What is this? What is this? Why does that exist? All right, next weapon. Flaming Mace seems decently great. It has like a flaming effect, but it lasts for like a long time. It deals very low damage, but it lasts for like a long time throughout the entire battle. Also has a special ability that can fire that can use the flaming mace to fire a fireball in the direction your character is facing. But the funny thing about this, and the ironic thing about this fireball can also be used on teammates. So you can also take teammates out with it, and it'll kill them. The flaming mace, though, when you damage someone with it, it has like it's a very long lasting but a freaking very low damage over time effect. The flaming mace seems very powerful, but not as powerful as other fire weapons, though. It just seems like a very superior flaming weapon. It can be used as a ranged or a freaking melee weapon. So this thing could probably go over zombie stopping axe, but not above the crossbow. So that goes there.
And then the super chaos or freaking laser blast, whatever. 3.5K money cost. 3.5K money cost is also a ranged weapon, but it's probably a bit overpowered. But the problem about this thing is you can't use it on mobile nor Xbox. You can only use it on PC, and on PC it does tons of damage. Just like the Rainbow Blaster. It shoots a very light psion beam that deals continuous damage to the character as long as they aim at it. It seems pretty great. It's fairly great to use against people up coming close to you. So I can put this up to B and put this. This seems difficult because the places are getting very complicated now. Where could this go? Freaking this thing. It could shoot at a long distance and deal high damage and shoots for a long time. This could almost go above everything though. So I could probably put this above here probably. But I will stop here. It can only be used for one console. Then again, most players are like freaking PC. I'm just gonna have to say it's just somewhat above here. Alright. Next few weapons. Hold on a sec. So many weapons I have not done. Alright. Who's next? Dark Age Nunchucks. I think I remember this weapon being busted in the earlier years. When I tried to slice someone up into pieces, quotation mark, with a freaking Telemonster sword, I still died even after I trapped him because the thing deals so much damage, it could even outrank everything. So the Dark Age Nunchuck could probably just go above BC, but will stay at A. The thing seems very powerful. When tapped, oh great. So the insta-kill on Dark Age, unfortunately, has been removed from the creator, so no one can spam that anymore, but still it's a pretty decent use, powerful weapon. So I could probably put this, deals more damage sort of thing. So I could probably put this in A, but below Poseidon's staff. Next, Sword of the Eternal Abyss. That's an interesting one. This one also has a speed boost, just like with the Crimson Sword. And it also has a special ability using the Q key that can also teleport. Every time you attack, will teleport to a nearby player or to a random player and will deal damage to them. So I tried to cheese it with multiple players in the earlier years. I wasn't able to use the weapon correctly. But if used correctly, the thing is deadly. The thing also deals high freaking damage. It can kill someone like up to 5 or 4 hits. Or even 6 hits. Broken. This thing also goes up in A. Because so many of these things have like freaking high damaging abilities. And this thing has a teleporting ability that can unexpectedly go around your opponent, but they can also still counterattack it. But this one probably mostly new. There's new players that play the game that rarely freaking pro players come back to play. For fun, for casualty. No competitiveness sense. So I could probably put Sword of the Eternal Abyss up here, below that. And then we have the Lightning Orb, a special unique weapon that's also like a ranged weapon, but you don't need to shoot. Press one button, the weapon does all the things work for you. You can walk up. The special thing about this weapon is that once you use it, the lightning orb will just circle around you and will literally just use lightning and will shock people nearby. So you can even walk up to people and use it. You can even try to approach people that are running away. And the lightning can also shoot up to multiple people if you're trying to run away. You can even try to run through them and it'll still do damage. Every shock, every electric attack that this weapon does, it could also somewhat stun them and sit them down. Forces their player to sit. It seems like a very great defensive weapon, even to use against melee weapons such as the zombie or the flaming mace to prevent them from moving very fast. So I could almost put this above everything, but this is probably going to go below most of these because the delay is not as fast as it seems.
Seems like a million delay because it can't compete with something like that, unfortunately. So this thing probably would go below. Dang, it could probably go below most of these. Still, if you use correctly, then it's great though. So I could probably put this above here, behind Sword of Swords. All right, more weapons to load. Oh, and then there's another one of these. Oh, this is just gonna take forever. Claymore. I feel so bored. I don't know why I did this to myself. Claymore operates as a normal sword. Cheap, beginner sword. Not competitive with anything else, but it can at least deal damage. It's better than like most of these. Slightly bit more expensive than Thenson, but it's not as good as Ninja Web though. Ninja Web also has tripping abilities, so I can give it that though. So Claymore's up at C, because the Claymore and C match up with C. Ironic. Alright, Brilliant Throwing Knives is a ranged weapon that can be fired out of the hand. And it has some delay. So once it's fired, it'll go in the direction you clicked in. And it's probably hard to use since the hitbox is kind of slim and you really can't get any hits unless you shoot it directly at the person. Deals some pretty good damage, but not very great range. Brilliant Throwing Knives is a beginner weapon, but I don't think it really much has consistency, but still. Feels like it's better than most of these. It could be somewhat better than Laser Knife because it's faster and it has medium consistent damage, better than this. Somewhat almost better than almost everything, holy crap. Could probably put this above here and here, and I'll just probably leave it at here. Deals medium-high damage. Next one, Gearwork Sword. I remember this is like a very powerful sword, like a pretty decent OP sword for beginner players. I remember having this back in like my old Roblox account. This weapon's probably like a pretty good weapon. It probably operates like the same way as like a bombastic sword does. It's more expensive, but as you attack with it, the gear kind of like fires up and the sword kind of goes up in flames like it's a motor, like it's motoring out, and it deals like some damage, some decent medium damage when it fires up, when the flames come out. So I could probably put this up to B, but I don't think I have to remember it's not as great as everything else though. It's even better than the katanas and even better than this. But probably not as great as Ultraviolet Blaster though. Yeah, the Colt. Ooh, this is a busted weapon for only a freaking intermediate weapon though. God damn. Colbat minigun. The Colbat minigun was also a real pain in the ass to me. Annoying weapon. Weapon I like to call it. This thing, although it has a medium recharge, if a PC player used it, then it'd be overpowered because it deals like up to fucking millions of damage. So much damage only takes like a few hits to kill a player. That's a crazy weapon. The Colbat minigun seems crazy and it can go above all of C tier and almost all of B tier. It just has that long delay. Because it's going to be impossible to dodge the direction. It's impossible to dodge the direction. The only way you could ever hope to fucking get the Colbat minigun user, you have to go close. When you're dodging, you also have to run and dodge. Run and dodge when you're close.
What is that? 3 llamas? I give up.
Or when you just open. Alright. Seems better than most of this stuff. Because it's crazy. The only ever way to dodge it is by using the huge hop from the Chiefs' gravel to dodge the weapon, but then it can go from anywhere. So that thing's broken. Why the hell even make it a cheap-ass weapon if it's broken? It operates the same as Super, but it's way less, it's cheaper and way more easier to use. So this probably could go above almost all these damn weapons here. Holy shit. So I'd say this thing's just fucking broken. but it's not as broken though because it's long delay. If it's long delay is coming, you have to move quickly and hope you reach him. Because what melee range weapons at close range aren't very good, but with some exceptions though. Here. Next we have the shadow sword or shadow bladed. The shadow knife. The special thing about this weapon that it has is that it makes your entire character black. No, it's not racist. It just turns the entire skin color black. But when you like die with it, or if the battle ends, but if the battle ends or die with it, the freaking black color skin removes all of your character's clothes except accessories and headwear, and makes your character completely naked, which is ugly, deserving. This weapon also has a special ability that can be used that can also like do a quick lunge at your opponent. But this is different from the lunge is way different. Heartbreaker from Ghostfire sword and the samurai sword. This thing is interesting, the katana sword. This thing has a unique dash that just goes. That's very quick. You won't deal damage while walking forward, but you can approach your players faster and kill them quicker. And this thing also has high damage, so I could probably put this above there. Even above here. Dang. And above here. Very close to Crimson Sword, though. Then we have the Green Scythe. And the special thing about this is that the Green Scythe is 2-in-1. It's both a melee and ranged weapon depending on how long you hold the attack button. The regular button is just a weave of the scythe, and when you hold the button, you will attack and then shoot out a wave, a green laser projectile that does range damage. Seems balanced and good. Damage likewise, but it seems kind of versatile, but it's just not enough damage consistency and stuff, though. I could put this above almost everything. But stop at the Shadow Sword, though.
They'll figure it out. They will literally teleport if they have to.
Next, we have a Mystic Sword, $3,25. This thing can surprisingly deal high damage. It also somewhat leaves a fire trail behind you when you attack with it. The Mystic Sword of Flames is a brokenly damaged high weapon that almost rivals with freaking Sword of Seas, though. So I could put Mystic Sword. I've seen it in action. It deals high damage. It even leaves a fire trail behind. I could put this somewhere here. Where would I put this, though? I'm gonna put this up at B probably because of how much power it has. But it doesn't really. But the funny thing about this weapon is it doesn't have actual flames. It just has hexagon-shaped flame particle effects that fall to the ground and have to be some sort of trap. I don't know. I think it's some sort of trap that when you attack with the weapon, it'll leave. It also deals probably like high damage. Is the freaking Sword of Eternal Abyss. So I could probably put it up at here. Somewhat just here. High damage consistency and balloon is insane. Not as much damage as the double axe, dual monster axes though. Literally just getting close to ending this because I just want to get out of here.
Oh my god.
We have two interesting 5K weapons here. The fun part. This is gonna be insane. We have the Hex Gun. A Hex Gun that is a ranged gun, but is entirely different from all guns, and yet has like the fastest reloading speed in the game. And deals high damage with shots. Like, it's a very great ranged weapon for pros. So the way a Hex Gun works is that there's going to be like an ammo counter at the bottom right of your screen when using the hex spitter. The hex spitter is what this thing is called, the hex spitter. Better. But you cannot just shoot it once, but you can shoot it. You can just spam the crap out of it by holding the tap button. And you can also run while holding the tap button to deal massive damage to the player. Seems like a pretty great weapon. Even someone in freaking Gold's video was able to solo almost everyone in the entire fucking lobby using this weapon. And it seems insane to do. So I could put this up to B. We could put this up to A. Because it's better than the freaking Colbat minigun. Because the Colbat minigun has less ammo, more damage. It feels like freaking Hex Spitter has like both of those qualities, just way better though. So I could put this even above freaking Sword of Seas because it's great against melee people. Highly effective against melee people who are approaching you. It's like it could be freaking outworking every B tier. So I could put this up here though. Ooh, but I could put, what if the teleporting ability comes first, though? Insane. So I might have to put this just below here, just to be sure. Then we have the Epic Sword of Redness, which is Epic Sword of Blueness's counterpart. Unlike the Epic Sword of Blueness, Epic Sword of Redness has like a way more damage and abilities than Epic Sword of Blueness. The first thing about this weapon, its attack style is exactly the same like the Epic Sword of Blueness. But the Epic Sword of Redness also has the same ability as the Epic Sword of Blueness, but the flames are bigger. They deal more damage, and the flames could have a potential. The flames can slow down a player nearby. And also, whenever you kill a player with this weapon, the player will explode, and any players caught in the blast will also be damaged. So interesting. It's just like it also has the same effect like the Golden Sword, but it's way better. When you kill someone, a red explosion spear comes out and damage any nearby players trying to 2v1 or 3v1 them. It's great. And it's also great that the special ability used with the Q key can slow down any opponents, giving you time to recover and find an opening. So I'm going to put this in A tier because it's better than the Epic Sword of Blueness. And it deals high damage. Oh, wait. Never mind. Not high damage. Even the fucking Sword of Goddamn Seas can outrank it, though. It has way better damage, though. Fortunately, but still, that goes up here. So many C's and so many B's. Well, low S's and low F's. All right. I'm getting so close to the end, I can feel it. My misery just ended of me freaking just trying to remember everything about this game. Alrighty. Oh my goodness, I'm getting so close to the end. I can feel it. Alright. As usual, the katanas all are in C tier because they perform the same. Do I even need to freaking explain this? Get out of here. Now, next up, we have the 8-bit gun. And this gun's hilarious because every time you shoot it out, it has some funny sound effect of some kid or person, whoever's saying this. Pew, 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 pew. Every time you shoot someone, there's also going to be a bar that says high score, game over, or ball stage, or something like that. Every time you shoot, it'll appear up on your head every time you shoot someone. And the thing's also surprisingly good. It has high range, but it doesn't have much damage in it, though. It's just very great, though. So I could probably put this above most this, but behind the green scythe. Fuck. Oh no. Wait, where'd it go? No, I thought I messed it up. So this goes behind green scythe. High fire rate, but low damage. We have the sledgehammer that looks like... And the sledgehammer looks exactly like the Roblox band hammer, though. The funny thing about it, when you hit someone with this 2.8K weapon, whenever you hit someone with it, they, I don't know. I don't know what happens when you hit someone, dude. Oh, I don't remember. I'm pretty sure when you hit someone with this, do they go flying? Or does it sit them down? I think it probably makes them go flying or something. That's all I just can freaking expect from this weapon. It can probably make people go flying. It deals high damage. It could also stun them. Seems good. I could probably put this up here. Probably deals more damage. These because it goes up to B. Then we have the Rainbow Unicorn Sword. That probably goes in F because it also has an This weapon's also a goddamn waste. Let me tell you why. I remember using this in some special route in one of my videos or when I did this off camera. This weapon's like a bit nice. This weapon has a fucking tendency to be nice because it's a unicorn. And your unicorn wouldn't kill anyone. Whenever a person gets to red or lower health, it won't kill them. The sword will not do its job. It refuses to. So this weapon kind of sucks. So I'm probably putting it below here. Down to F because it's a capability to kill. Someone was able to kill out of it because the weapon was bugged years ago. The weapon wasn't bugged years before, but now it just get bugged. Who am I kidding? Then we have Hades' Staff of Darkness. And this weapon seems pretty good and special with its abilities. What makes this Hades' Staff of Darkness special? What makes this weapon special is its ability is that when you shoot someone with a dark projectile, their entire screen will turn black for a few seconds, making them unknown of where their character is. So, and there's also this weapon also has a special ability that can be used with the Q key to spread out everywhere and cover all the grounds of players. And it seems kind of insane. The special ability, your player will spin in 2 circles, unleashing 2 full circle dark projectiles and will blind anyone that hit them. And this weapon is also great because the weapon barely makes any sound, so the players won't be able to know where location is at. But they can probably look above the screen or look at a freaking alt account to know where you're at and might kill you though. But still, at the same time, in the fairness way, it's impossible to find people. So it could probably be good for manipulating. It has some manipulation, all right. It's a pretty good ranged weapon. But it has like a small delay though. So I could probably have to put this up in freaking above here probably. Or even below here. Pretty sure some freaking that pro player from my hacker video will have lots of explaining to do and know where the things go. I don't, even though I'm a veteran. Alright, then we have Bombastic Sword. I'm pretty sure. Hold on, let me check. Is this the last weapon? Hold on now. There's like so many of these. Let me count. 3, 6. Oh, that's not all the weapons. There has to be some freaking weapons I have not ranked yet. So the Bombastic Sword is a trade-off double-edged sword-like weapon. Here's why. It's cheap, it's a good beginner weapon, but at the same time, it's also risky to use. Because whenever you attack someone with this weapon, it has a chance of exploding on contact and deal massive damage to the player. But the explosion will not only hurt the player, but it will also hurt the wielder as well. It'll also hurt you if you ever try to use it against someone that explodes. So it's a trade-off weapon, but it's not the greatest, even with the trade-off, because you could also kill yourself. You could even get yourself in danger. And it's even worse when it's used against a damn ranged person, because it can give ranged people into damage. So I could probably put this just above around here. Most of these, but then stop here. Bombastic Sword. Let's see if I have any left. I have looked around the entire weapon. I only missed 3. 3 to go. There's like 3 freaking weapons to go before I'm finally done with this damn tier list. Holy Christ. So, we're going to start with the machete. The machete, oddly priced, just like the lucky throwing leprechaun axes. It has some damage to it, but it does not operate regularly as a sword. It operates the same way as the rolling pin, but at least it deals more damage to it. But I wouldn't say it's very great. Cavalry. I'm going to put this just below here. Up and see. A very freaking annoying weapon, Breath of Fire. There's this damn weapon. Where would this go? The only way this weapon could ever be great is if it's used and no one's targeting the caster. The Fire of Breath is just a damn broken weapon in this game. I don't know why this damn thing exists. When it goes, okay, hold on a second. How it's used is that the freaking your character will hold it up to its mouth and then breathe it out because it's the Breath of Fire. Quote, Breath of Fire. Or Breath of the Wild. I keep moving everything around the place. Breath of Fire, quote. Or Breath of the Wild. The Breath of Fire has like a freaking AoE damaging effect that can damage up to multiple people, even after someone was hit by it once. If you get hit by it, your character will be set on fire for a few seconds. It has like a more deadly DOT effect that's even greater than freaking zombie crossbow, flaming mace, and even somewhat freaking Telemonster Sword Chaos Edge. Oh wait, darn. Now I realize I'm missing a sword. I'm missing Chaos Edge. Why do I not have that weapon? Darn, alright. Breath of Fire, where would this thing go? This thing would almost beat everything, even the goddamn solo. Because the fire would spread. Anyone that steps on the fire, and since the Breath of Fire does not go up in the air, goes on the ground, would be make it impossible to dodge. Lowering evasion options. Lowers evasive options, which is insane. This could go up to B. Holy Christ, but it could probably just stop up here, though. So it's not as powerful, though. Then there's Zeus's lightning staff. And there's things about this weapon to understand. So one, it's like a ranged weapon. So whenever you use, but this thing is also special. Although it's a ranged weapon, it doesn't just use. It's not like a regular attacking weapon where you just shoot one projectile. You shoot multiple at once, and the attack has like 2 forms and can be used as a pattern. So first you shoot like around 20 lightning bolts as an attack, but then when you press it again, your character will be surrounded by a lightning shield, preventing from any melee people from coming. But I don't think it prevents it, because it'll just let the weapon go through the goddamn lightning shield. Lightning shield my ass. Jesus. It goes through the shield, unfortunately. And the special ability, I think the special ability is like the shield or something. I don't know. Or wait, though. It has 3 patterns. So regular, then spread, then shield. Regular, spread, and shield. Special, probably another spread or whatever. I think it's a shield. It deals damage, but it can't really slow players down. Probably be a wasteful 5K. I don't think it's really that great. Just a mediocre-ish 5K, though. How could I put this, though? It could also be hard for players to dodge, but they can just come up close and just dodge the darn thing. Where do I put this at, though? So where would I put this at, though? Even if it has, like, millions of undodgeable hitbox there. Probably, like up to here, though, but behind it. People can jump over it though, so I'm gonna have to fucking move it back to Breath of Fire. Breath of Fire. Alright. Just a few more weapons to go, then I'll be done. I am so freaking close. Alright, I checked the entire list. I'm pretty sure that should be almost every weapon now on this list. Now, first we have another broken beginner weapon. The Axe of Divine Flames deals like massive damage with every hit. Also has a kill effect, just like the Crimson Sword. The Roblox player who got killed by it will have its body dissolved in freaking Phantom Flames, right? Ugh. No special abilities about it. Once you attack with it, just freaking taking 20% of your health every time it just touches you. It's just too fucking overpowered. God dang. Could be up to freaking B. Does much damage. Even when you're slowed down, it'll still do massive damage, but not as massive damage though. Could probably put this just above here as a B tier. And this could also probably be a freaking high D tier though, because of its damage as well. Also, this goes up to here as well, because it's crazy. Or here. Alright, the last freaking weapon of the game that I've not put in the list. It's the big old tone monster, the Chaos Edge sword. So one thing to begin with, there are like 3 points, or there are like freaking 3 things in mind when using this weapon. 1, make sure you use it wisely and in the correct way. Although this thing is powerful, this thing has a special ability that can be used with the Q button that can trap nearby players in fire that also deals damage, which can also be used as extra damage as like a freaking free damaging thing. It also renders them immobile so they can't move. So it's good for dealing extra damage and taking them down quickly. And then, alright, so 1, make sure you use it wisely. Although this thing is powerful, the basic attacks are not very powerful, but the flames are. The flames have high damage over time power rather than the sword itself. Make sure you use it wisely. Don't just go rushing and then click, just press immediately and just freaking fight them. The same time, the freaking Telemonster Chaos Edge can be overtaken by multiple players or even slightly better weapon than that, which is the Axe of Divine Flames overtaken by a speed tier. And then number 2, use the attacks. Make sure you attack behind the players if you trap them. It'll be better for them if you attack and just back attack them rather than attacking in front of them, because they could probably still hit you with their weapon if they ever escape. And then thing number 3, if your health ever runs low using this weapon has an automatic dash effect after pressing the button like a certain amount of times. You can use it to run and use the traps to also prevent enemies from catching you. So this weapon, it entirely takes like brains to use. It takes literally freaking brains to use. So it's not an easy use weapon. It takes brains. It's the only skill weapon where you have to freaking compensate your mind for all the freaking players and pay attention to all the directions they're coming from. So this weapon could be S tier. It just requires skill to use, so I might have to fucking put it below everything else. Fortunately.
I did it.
It takes brains. Stop raising people so much fire, yeah. I tried using the weapon once. I got hit once. And I remember in one of my rage videos, I try and slide stuff in ice freeze in person. But then my speed got reduced. For the second time, I'm saying this. Super fudging low. I was not able to escape. Even if I tried freaking tapping the button twice, I still got catched my freaking glitch lag hitboxes, or I'm not fast enough because my VIP speed was instantly removed. This thing takes brains to play. Crap. Where'd this go? That was my bad. So this thing could go up to S tier, but it's going to be behind Blizzard Striker. Because Blizzard Striker is like almost the best weapon in the entire freaking game now. Alright, so it goes up to S tier, behind Blizzard Striker though. Hiker. And that's it. Just ignore these copies here because I accidentally uploaded them twice, and that's it. The entire freaking thing has been finished. The entire thing has been finished. Alright, let me save this. So thank you guys for watching this entire freaking tier list. I need something to do with my time. This is what the tier list looks like now. All warmed up and all big and all loaded with B and C tiers. Only a few S tiers, only a low amounts of D tiers, not the greatest B tiers. And obviously 3F tiers. Do not buy the 3F tiers when playing this game. Don't buy them. They won't do you any good. Anywho, I'll see y'all in the next tier ranking video. Bye.